Hello and welcome. My name is Xander. I will be your instructor through this tutorial. Now, this tutorial is actually part of a whole course which you can access the first stages for free here on YouTube. Now, in this tutorial, I might mention resources and other tutorials. Do check out the link in the video description, which will take you to the playlist, and also there will be a link to the resources so that you can access and follow along here on YouTube. Now, if you like this course, you found it useful, and you want to take that next step, you can find this course over at Udemy. All the links to the resources can be found in the video description. Now, don't forget, also subscribe to the channel for weekly promotions, discounts, and free course giveaways. So the delete statement is used to remove rows from a table based upon a condition. Very simple to use. Let's take a look at the basic syntax. The keyword here is delete. So we need to specify the table name, so the table from which you want to delete records, and then we can include the where condition to specify the records to delete. A simple example of delete. So let's delete from category. Now, this won't be possible, remember, because we do have the relationship set and our onDelete specified. So we won't be able to do this, but this is just an example. So we specify where we want to delete from, and then we can go ahead and then filter out or filter the rows, records that we want to delete. So we can delete at this point individual records or multiple records based upon the filter that we define. So here we're going to try and delete an individual record, a record where the name, the value in the name field equals, in this case, electronics. Now, you can see that when we try to delete it, we cannot because of the constraints that we have, but that is how we're going to delete individual records. Now we can just delete from category. Oh, let me run that. You can see we can actually delete every category in the category table. That's what we've just done there. So you do need to be careful about using delete, because you don't want to make mistakes like that. So we have, like I said, we have just deleted everything from the category table, all the data. Now, I think what happened in this case is that we couldn't delete the electronics category because potentially it was connected to another category via the foreign key in the category table here, a self-referring foreign key. Remember, that was restrict. But notice that we were able to delete all the categories, because remember, we do have the products here on delete cascade in products, which means that if we do delete the parent categories, it will then go ahead and delete the product. So in this case, if you run the select all on products now, you can see that all the products have been deleted except the product that wasn't connected to a category. Understanding how to use the delete query is fairly easy, as you probably already noticed and probably maybe agree. Simply just use delete. So we specify from which table and then filter out the data we want to delete. The important part and the hard part of this is to ensure that you fully understand, particularly when we have relationships between tables, how those relationships have been set to determine the behavior of our data when we try and delete it. So specifically the onDelete specifications that we have set up for our data. So when using delete, there's a few things to remember. Delete removes specific records from a table based upon a condition normally. We use the where to avoid deleting all records. Remember that if we don't supply a where, then we can potentially delete all the records in the table as we demonstrated. Now, something else I didn't mention was that the delete statement does not reset auto increment values. So if you remember, in our table, we may have a number of different fields. One of them is our primary key, and we may have other fields, whatever those fields might be. Okay, so when we add a record to our table, we automatically add a number, a primary key to our record. That's how we've set up our tables. And then for every record afterwards, that value just increments by 1. So the more records that we add, this number keeps keeps incrementing by 1. Now, when we delete a record, let's imagine we deleted record 4 and 3. When we delete these rows and then go ahead and add a new record, the database has simply remembered the last number that was assigned to a record. So therefore, it would then just continue from that point, and the next record would be number 5. So it doesn't reset, say, back to 3 in this case, if we were to delete 3 and 4. And of course, make sure that you fully understand the implications of deleting records, that you fully understand the referential constraints that have been set, the on-delete, cascade, restrict behaviors. We'll take a look at that in more detail in the next tutorial.